All right.
How's it going?
My view is way worse than your view.
Oh, no. Well, you're in an office.
I am. I'm not supposed to be here. Do not tell de Blasio or Cuomo. They'll have me arrested, taken out back, and shot and put under the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah, secret.
Where are you? Are you in San Francisco?
Yeah, I'm in my place in San Francisco, sheltering in place like a good boy.
Yeah, I would shelter in place in your place with that view. That's ridiculous.
Well, it's a nice day out today.
Oh, okay. All right. Good. That's like apologizing for a compliment when someone's like, dude, you look great. And you're like, well, I got my hair cut.
That's true. Well, thank you. So now you've been mainly outside the city during shelter in place, or are you coming in for an appointment today?
We went, so New York has had it the worst by far. Although you guys shut down before we did. We shut down May 22nd and March 22nd. And on March 18th, we went away to New Hampshire for a week, and that week turned into a month. And after that month, because I live with my mother-in-law, so my wife, my mother-in-law, who lives with us, and our baby, all three of them were going to kill each other. And I was like, you know what, we can't do this anymore. So we went to the grocery store, we packed up survival food, and we came back to the city. We've been here now for over a month. And it's been great. Like, the city's empty. I walk down the middle of Broadway to get to the office. It's sad, but it's also very surreal. Like, it's a wild experience. And it's one that I'll definitely never forget. But now I'm in the office by myself.
And how, like, is business picking up at all there? Or is it still pretty much on pause?
Total pause. My job these days is administrative work, like focusing on kind of all the busy work, to-do list stuff, team growth stuff, all the things that are like that you want to do all the time and you never have the time to do. Well, now, like, thanks, COVID.
Right. It's probably a nice little break in a way for you.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks because we're not selling. We're selling some stuff, but not like normal. The market here anyway in January and February was finally is starting to feel good in a way that we haven't really felt since 2015. Because New York had a pretty big slowdown in the real estate market starting in 2016. And so, we were really excited, like big deals, lots of transactions, buyers finally excited, happy to buy, sellers negotiating, like it was all good, and then screeching halt. So hopefully it comes back. I don't know, but we're spending a lot of time renegotiating contracts, forcing people to close, just massaging people left and right.
Yeah, but I'm sure, I imagine as fast as it took to close, it's probably going to be pretty fast, I think, when things start up again.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I don't know, it's, New York is very resilient, but it will also take time. Like, what's different now is, New York is the financial capital of the world, right? So I was at a client's apartment yesterday, standing 6 feet away from them. And, she said she wanted to sell because she works for one of the big banks. And her employer told them yesterday, the whole company, do not expect to come back to the office until January. And if that bank is saying it, then it's all the banks, which means that the financial services industry has no need to be in New York City until 2021. Like, why buy a $6 million condo on the Upper East Side right now if you don't have to go to work, right? If you're going to work from home, that's why the Hamptons, Westchester, Jersey have been exploding, but Manhattan's been tricky.
Well, that happened here. Twitter just announced that, like, everyone can work going for it. So it's like, well, then why pay $4,000 for a 1-bedroom in San Francisco? You might as well go to Sea Ranch up north or something like that.
Yeah, or like my parents live in Steamboat Springs, Colorado, right? Most of the year, and they're in the middle of nowhere, like ranch, middle of nowhere. And these people just built a house kind of a little bit above them on their road. And when I was there in August, I met them and they were going for a jog. This husband and wife, they're young.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, what do you guys do? Like, you're young. What do you do here? Like, are you ski instructors? Like, because that's what you do, right? You ski instructors, you're kayaking instructors.
We're
Like,
retired.
no, we run a PR and advertising firm in New York City. And I'm like, oh,
Crazy.
what? And they're like, yeah, we live here full time. Everything we do is virtual. We go to the city once every other month. And I'm like, damn. And you get to, they're 3 hours behind, you know, when daylight savings time is in their favor. And they wake up, they ride bikes, they ride horses, they go run a PR firm from their computers. Like, it's
No, totally. Before I pick up,
crazy.
myself, I'm Justin Fichelson. I'm based in San Francisco. I was on $1 Million Listing, and I'm the co-founder of Avenue 8, a new brokerage for.
Congrats.
Thank you, by the way. Yeah, really appreciate it. And
do you have an office? Does your new brokerage have an office?
We did have an office, but we're virtual, and now we're totally virtual.
Forever?
Well, for the most, we're going to have a headquarters, but
yeah.
The efficiency, going back to what you said, I mean, it's so efficient now to work from home. I mean, the technology is already out there. And I think a lot of people who didn't adopt the technology before, you know, managers who weren't used to managing people remotely, I think after this, 2-month cycle, I think that it's been a crash course in it.
Yeah.
Like, how's it been for you with the team? Because you have a pretty, like, what do you have, like 80 people, 90 people?
60 people, but it's been weird. You know, we do team meetings via Zoom. I talk to the team I mean, honestly, I'm just as busy because now I talk to everybody on the phone. I FaceTime all day long, Zoom all day long. It's so much hand holding all day long. And so that's why I'm in the office all day, just because it's hard with the baby and, you know, everything at home to just stay at home and do this. But the team is doing the best they can. You know, the CARES Act allowed for independent contractors to file for unemployment. So a lot of the younger team anyway was able to do that. And so there's a benefit there. And they're just, you know, focusing on their own businesses, networking, trying to do things as best they possibly can. You know, we have our online sales course, the Like Serhant course that they're all kind of a part of and help with. And, you know, we built out a COVID-19 sales guide and a lot of stuff. So it's been good, but I also miss them. Like, I'm in my office by myself every day for a month now. It's weird.
I think the one good thing I think for newer agents and agents on the team, I think, this is a really good time to prepare yourself for when this is over, because how often do you have a time but 100% of your focus with no distraction?
Yeah.
Business. It's kind of because things are somewhat on pause. So I think that's positive for agents out there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I tell my team the same thing. Like, in hindsight, when this is over, let's just pick like September 15th. Okay. Let's say, let's say this is over in June, July, August, a little funky, but September 15th, normal day, you're back at it and you're really busy and you're exhausted. You're going to look back on quarantine and you're going to say, remember that time on a Tuesday when I was just like watching Netflix? Like, you're going to wish you had this time. So use it, like milk it so that in September, future you is looking back and saying, oh man, thank God I actually did all that work and put on all the time. Because all these other people were Netflixing on a Tuesday at 2 p.m. or 11 a.m. Pacific. And they are, and you were actually getting shit done. So like, it's great. It's great bonus time.
Yeah, some of the biggest companies come out of times like this. Did you start? I don't know about you, but I started at the tail end of the last session. Did you start?
Yeah, I started at the day it started. I started the day Lehman Brothers filed for bankruptcy on September 15th, 2008. Day one.
How are you staying in shape? Are you on a bunch of pounds or how's that going? Because I know you're a gym.
Yeah, I work out at home. Yeah, I do my little home workouts. I follow, honestly, I follow so many people, like personal trainers and stuff, on Instagram, and all they do these days is post home workouts all day long. So I'll just pick one of their workouts and do it. I live on the West Side Highway, so I step outside my door and we're in the water and got the Hudson River Park right there. And so it's great to run and do push-ups, squats, pull-ups, like all that stuff. So, but it's not what it was before. I mean, New York is the same thing like San Francisco, right? Like, there's so many boutique, cool little gyms that I was obsessed with that now I don't know what happens to them, honestly. I don't know how they even operate. Like, going forward, it's scary.
Where's the first place you're going to eat when New York opens back up? Do you guys have like a restaurant you're craving, the neighborhood spot?
Dude, our favorite restaurant actually closed 2 weeks before COVID and had nothing to do with COVID.
What was that?
Honestly, man, you know where I want to go? I really, we live in Soho, and I really just I miss a good New York Sunday brunch at Bubby's in Tribeca. You go there, the pancakes will kill you, but they're amazing. Just when I'm looking forward to having someone else cook and clean and do all that stuff. Not that I cook or clean. I'm projecting for my wife and her mom.
I would say same thing for me.
Yeah. But that's, the Bubby's in Tribeca breakfast there would be awesome. But most of the restaurants in the city have stayed open for takeout. So people have still been doing takeout as best they possibly can. And I've started to see some companies and some businesses have slowly started to open up, and they're just arrest me. You can't destroy my business because you think people are going to get sick. I just try to, call the FBI. What do you want from me? And hats off to those people. I'm in the office too.
Yeah. Tesla did that out here. Elon Musk. I'm opening a factory regardless.
Yeah. And so, but they said, okay, fine. Right. But you got to do it within these guidelines. And he was like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. For New York, when do you think it's going to start opening up? How long do you think it's going to take? I know here, the market, real estate wise, March basically shut down for the most part. People took listings off, they freaked out, crash. And then, about 6 weeks later, people started adjusting to the new norm. Listings started coming out. Obviously, there's no open houses or anything like that, but tons of new first-time home buyers I'm seeing. Places are actually it's not nearly as bleak as I think people thought.
Yeah. I mean, New York probably has, 80% less listings on the market right now than this time last year. But it's, so it's a little bit tricky, but as of right now, the shelter in place order is through May 28th. And then from there's a 12-step program to opening up with all these different phases. New York apparently isn't anywhere close to hitting them. And if that happens, then construction will start for 2 weeks, and then real estate and financial services can go back to work. So it seems like the best case scenario for us to start showing again anyway and putting things back on the market is the middle of June, but probably not till July.
Right. And then you said people are flocking to the boroughs and upstate, the Hamptons. If you were to invest, where do you think is the best place for an area outside the city that's increasing in value pretty rapidly? That's obviously the Hamptons are already a hot spot, but
I would look. Listen, the Hudson Valley, so just north of New York, right? An hour to an hour and a half north of the city, so super easy drive, way easier to get to than Hamptons. There's good properties, there's good land, there's you can get a farm and then be back in your apartment in less than 90 minutes. That's pretty crazy, but it's not trendy, it's not very social, and so that's why the Hamptons has always just been much better. Plus the Hamptons has the ocean. But you know what, right now outside New York City is more expensive now than ever before. There's no availability. Every house is gone. Every house got rented or has been bought in a heartbeat because everyone panicked and they went out. And now New York City is sitting empty. Now the best place to invest is Manhattan. The prices, your negotiability in Manhattan. If you walk into any apartment, any seller would just say, just whatever you want. Because a lot of these sellers aren't coming back.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think places like San Francisco, New York are such resilient markets, and this is the tech capital, that's the financial capital. It's you're never going to lose just because of the wealth creation there.
Right, and it's always going to come back. It just depends on when, And there's a lot of other options. There's places you can go to New Jersey, Summit, get a house with a pool. You can go to Long Island, you can go to Westchester, but you got to remember too that New Yorkers are also they all have ADD. They all want everything all the time. And what are you going to do? Go to the same restaurant every Friday night with your wife like, and come back to your house, like you're going to lose your mind. Like you came to New York City for a reason. You want the hustle, the bustle. You kind of want the virus. Like you want craziness, you know,
want
like
the risk.
Yeah, there's risk to being here, but there's also great reward, right?
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing with any city, but New York for sure.
Yeah. Same thing. You know, California was founded by a bunch of went west in a very dangerous time to, you know, strike it rich in the gold rush. So
yeah,
that perspective for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. Totally crazy.
What point in your career did you start a mega real estate team? Because I know you were solo for a while. At what point did you go from like 10 people to, you know, let's make this really big?
When I had the space, to be honest, because we always had the business to make it big. But it was weird to like have agents be here and then there and then there. And so now I might think about that differently because everyone is so virtual. But, you know, in 2015, we moved into a bigger office and I got 2 offices actually. And all of a sudden I had the space to allow agents to breathe. And that's really when we expanded. It was just tough to do in a smaller, because we were originally in an office in Midtown above a burger restaurant, but then we went to a storefront in Tribeca that was big enough for like 12 people, and we were kind of that size for a good bit. And then once we moved into an office for 40, and we filled it up, and then we have another office that has 20, and we filled them up like right away. And so it's been busy ever since. But now, you know, even at the time, if I had had virtual agents, they would have been, you know, confused. They'd have been like, why do you want me to work from home? I don't get a desk. Now going forward, they might not even want one, right?
Exactly. So I feel like you're one of the first agents to do a, you know, out of state team as well. You know, you open up in Los Angeles, you have Miami, and then a lot of, I think at least your TV cohorts have kind of done the same thing, like Frederick.
I like paving the way for other people to copy what I do.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been super helpful for everybody.
Exactly, definitely. Are there any other states, like Texas or something like that you want to expand to, or are you happy with California?
Yeah, I mean, listen, yes and no, right? Like every other state and city only makes sense for me if there's mass volume, right? Because like you know, like you could crush it in Detroit, but the #1 agent in Detroit does in an entire year what my team does in 1 month. So, right. You know, like and it's still a ton of work. That's a year's worth of grinding and hustle and work. And so sure, like it would be good and more business is more business, but you know, it's, you know, New York, San Francisco, LA, Miami, like there's a reason those are the 4 pillars.
Yeah, for sure. So obviously there's, you know, it's very important now, more now than ever, to have video, social. But what would you say to like, how does the normal agent that you've been doing for years, you're in the business, you've never had a TV show, you don't have the big branding yet. What's the best channel to create a brand via, you know, content? And like, what would be the #1? Would it be YouTube? Would it be Instagram, Facebook?
Yeah, YouTube for sure. Because YouTube, you can run organic ads against, and you can build up a very, very organic following. And people you have to remember too, right? So your question is, how do I create a brand with content? Okay. So your brand is your reputation. Okay. So you're going to create a brand by being a great person and a great broker. So that's what people are going to know you by. And then through your content, no one wants to watch boring content ever. Like, I don't care if it's real estate, automobile, like whatever, like your content needs to be entertaining. And
definitely,
YouTube is an entertainment digital platform. And so as long as your content can be entertaining for people to watch and isn't just, you know, you out of focus talking like this and then showing a property like this, like, you know, if you treat it like something that you would want to watch, then you can slowly grow a platform. And listen, the #1 creators for real estate, for anything on YouTube, they don't have TV shows, right? They do it raw. They do it from their phone or their own camera. They hold it like this. They go through. They're organic. They connect to their audience, and they're consistent, right? They're consistent, yeah, all the time. And so, like that's the key. I would focus on YouTube, and Instagram, but definitely on YouTube. I would be consistent. I would try to find people to collaborate with. Like if you're in San Francisco, I'm reaching out to you to collaborate with, to do something like, hey, show me one of your listings, right? I'll make a video for you for free, and there you go. And then just, create good content.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think now, actually, like we talked about, it's such a prime time to create content. I mean, things are somewhat on pause. You're at home. Instead of watching Netflix, like create some content, put your brand out there.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and not just for real estate. I think any kind of sales related job, it's definitely valuable for. So it makes sense.
And you can also, listen, people ask, and I see it here kind of in the comments too, people always ask about, well, I've got nothing to say. Like, of course you have something to say. Like, it depends on what you want to show. But like, if you're a real estate agent, you can go to other open houses. You could do a weekly Sunday open house video roundup with you on your phone, and then you can edit it together at the end of the night, put it out there, and people will look forward to it. Like, oh, I'm going to see everything that's in, I don't know the neighborhoods in San Francisco, but pick a neighborhood, and those are all the open houses from yesterday. I don't know why no realtors actually done that. That's a great way to build content, to build a following, and then people will come to you because they don't even have to leave their couch to go see open houses. Like, boom, there you go. There's a genius idea some realtors should do right now.
Add all those videos as well into like a market newsletter and attach it there. More, instead of just sending out like a market report, then you're also sending out content with it that's entertaining, and then they're going to pass it around, and then people think about buying or selling. So it makes total sense.
Yeah, that's a genius idea. Someone should use that and do that right now. Once open houses start again.
I think blog is the best real estate produced blog. Like, you did an exceptional job with the production of that.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I don't do it by myself. I definitely have people who I have a whole media team here every day who help me. But thank you.
So here's a little more personal question. How do you and Amelia inspire each other work-wise? I think you guys are a very great team together.
She is. She supports me in everything. She's incredibly blunt. She's very honest. But she's kind of like my, I don't know, like she's like my Lady Macbeth, in like a good way. Like she'll kill for me. Like she has my back. She pushes me, like if I come home at 5 p.m. today, she'd be like, why are you home early? Like, to see you and the baby. She'll be like, don't you want to be at the office? Don't you have stuff to do? I know that's what you want to do. Get back in there. Like, she's, but it's organic. Like I do actually. That's what I want to do. Like I feel guilty. I haven't seen you guys, but thank you. So there's good synergy there, and she pushes me. And I would hope that she would say the same about me. I think she's definitely a better partner to me than I am to her. And I think that's just how our personalities are. But she's very much like the rock in the relationship. That's for sure. I'm far more the tornado, like, blowing things over, rebuilding, coming back. And she's just the rock in the middle, not getting blown over. And she's like, hey, you want to talk? You want to go through this? You want to think about this?
That's awesome. Yeah, definitely the ultimate partnership. So I guess we'll do one more question, and then we'll open it up to the audience for a few questions. With our new normal, what do you think the future of real estate is going to be? How's it going to, what are the biggest changes that's going to occur? Do you think that open go back to normal? Do you think it's all going to be virtual? What do you say to those agents who, like, newer agents would get most of their business from doing open houses, and that's going to definitely change for a while?
Yeah, I mean, listen, open houses will come back, but I've never really gotten a lot of business from open houses. I've always, it was always harder for me, especially as a newer agent, to connect with people cold who are at an open house without an agent because they don't think they need one.
It's tough.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. It's definitely a skill. Some agents are great at it. Some suck at it. I always figured, okay, I want to have as many things in common with as many different people as I possibly can. Let me go out there and try to find ways that I can be in common with people. So, I liked working out. So I would do like workout groups with other people, get to know those people, and then help them buy or sell their homes. And then they would introduce me to other people. So like one thing I'm telling people right now, like via LinkedIn, Facebook, You can be a community leader. Like you can start a group or a page, even start a website. It's super simple for something that you really like doing in your neighborhood or your city, and then e-blast it out to your entire community and all of your friends and say, hey, like I love flowers. And I started a community on Facebook for people who love flowers, who live in San Francisco. Come join it. Let's talk about all things flowers. Everyone's stuck at home and sheltering. Let's do it. Even if 15 people join, those are 15 new people you didn't know before who each know 100 other people, right? So that's 1,500 other people that now by association, and you can grow that network and meet those people when this is all over. And there's a lot of things that you can do.
Yeah, I think I'm also a firm believer, luck, you have to put yourself in the position to get lucky.
Yeah.
So if you want to sell Tribeca, hang out, instead of just eating at a random restaurant, eat at the restaurant where, it's packed, where the locals are going to hang out.
Yeah.
Or meet the locals, go to the coffee shop that's in the neighborhood of where you sales, because that, it's going to be your network you're going to meet. Let's do a question from the audience. What would you say about investing in real estate post-COVID? Do you think it's a good investment? I would personally say yes, depending on the market, but I'll let you answer that.
Listen, what we have gone through right now is a multi-trillion-dollar PR campaign for the value of homes. This hasn't been a whole shutdown to keep you sheltered in your office, showing people the value of offices, right? This whole thing is showing people more than ever before the value of a home, the value of single-family homes, the value of a clean home. Like, I think once this eases, once people get their jobs back and they come back, everyone's going to sit there and say, you know what sucks? My 1-bedroom, my 2-bedroom. I've got my job. Interest rates are still so low because now they're at 0 still. Let's go buy a new home, and it's going to explode.
I think you're exactly right. I think people were spending less time at home. Now they're at home. They want home offices. They're like, I need a gym. For me, I really wish I had a steam bath.
Yeah. Listen, hindsight is 2020, right? So no pun intended, but in 2021, 2022, we're all going to look back and say we wish we bought property in 2020.
Are you going to keep your beard post-lockdown?
What'd you say?
Are you going to keep your beard post-lockdown?
Absolutely not. I'm waiting to get a haircut and then I will shave. But this is actually I'm growing my 3rd beard right now. This is my 3rd beard of lockdown.
I know. We used to have a big beard, but I must say, I think you look better without the beard.
Thanks. Me too. So does my wife. So does everybody.
I have a mustache.
Ridiculous.
One more question here. How do you keep your spark of motivation daily? Because you're obviously a very positive person. I'm a big believer in positive energy.
Yeah.
What do you do? Do you have a meditation when you wake up? Do you get up and immediately, take a cold shower? What's it for you?
I'm a big believer in habit and routine. And I've learned that too, even with the baby. The baby's happiness is tied to her routine. And I see it with her now. And I'm like, oh, that's where we get it from. Because when we are babies, routine makes us happy and we grow up with it. So even during all this, I wake up at 5 a.m., same time, I go work out in a weird way, right? And I go to the office by myself. If I wasn't, oh, sorry. Is it loud? Okay, I'll be right there. Sorry, I got a Zoom meeting. And I go back and forth to all my appointments, and on the phone and everything. And I'm positive about the future. I'm using this time as as the silver lining, right? I think every day, even if it's a bad day, you got to think about what that silver lining is. What is the benefit of it, and how is it going to help you in the future? And guess what? You can't go back in time. Today's over. It's already the middle of May. This is almost over. It's before we know it, it's going to be summer, and then it's going to be next year. So don't let the time go by unused. Take advantage of it. And that excites me. That's how I stay positive and energized, because there's just so much, and we can do anything as salespeople. We can do whatever we want every day.
Totally. You create your destiny. All right. Well, Ryan, listen, you've said it all.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for the conversation. When this is all over, definitely come, you and Amelia and the family, come visit San Francisco. Always welcome.
We will.
And thank you from the Avenue 8 team, and have a great day. I hope everyone learned something valuable. Ryan is a great positive influence on the industry. He's super influential, an amazing broker in New York City. So thank you.
I learned everything I know from you. I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Yeah.